Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, or good morning, depending on the time you are seeing this video. We are here preparing for the 2025 Neco chemistry practicals, and today I want to take you through the salt analysis, where we'll test for the anions and the cations. Information reaching us is that we are going to have sample C, or the salts. One of the salts is going to be lead 2-triazonitrate 5, and the other one is going to be potassium triazosulfate 4. All right, and from basic knowledge of chemistry, we are not sure they will ask us to mix these two together, because when we mix these two together, we are okay. This is this is potassium triazosulfate 4 is SO3. Sorry about that, SO3. You know how SO4 is most common, and my hand wanted to write the most common one. Even my mouth said the correct one, but the hand, one of those things. All right, okay, thank you for that. You see, now because when we mix these two together, it's going to form lead, this sulfate, and it's going to form potassium and this nitrate, which is possible, but these two is very difficult to analyze, so I'm not sure they are going to ask us to mix together. So I'm going to prepare this as I prepared in the laboratory. Of course, you are going to see the video of that very soon. I want you to digest this very well, so that when you see the practical, the video of that, it will help you your understanding. All right, okay. Now you know that when we analyze this, what are we expecting to have here? We're expecting to have lead 2 plus, and of course NO3 minus. All right, we expect to have this, and here we expect to have potassium ion and SO3 2 minus. Okay, so these are the possible things we are going to be asked. Possible things. All right, this one is your brown ring text, if they are going to ask this, which some people have the opinion that because of safety they may not ask, but I'm going to give you for all of these four, so that you have yourself equipped. It's better to be equipped than to be less equipped. Let us be fully equipped, and when you study all the ones that comes out, you pick them. The one that didn't come out, you drop them. So it's better to have a very good study. And you know that Neco is very friendly than WAEC, in that they will give you the test. What am I saying now? They will give you what to test for, or yours is just to write the observation and the inference. So in lieu of that, I've prepared this my paper to have about 10 tests, and I'm sure in the exam cannot be up to that. Okay, but what I'm going to give you here, you cannot miss it in your exams. All right, 100% accurate. Of course, if you have been following the Dons Consult, this is the Dons Consult channel. If you have been following us in the previous exams, you know that we give the best. All right, okay, now I have about 10 of that, 10 of it. So I'm going to be taking it one after the other. I'm going to be giving you the report I've carried out, and of course I promise you that the video will come out soon, possibly this night. You are going to see the video, all right, or tomorrow morning. All right, so the first one, the sample C. All right, yours, you don't know what it is. Okay, it's after the analysis you will know what it is. Okay, the sample C mixed with water, distilled water, of course, but I'm just trying to give you in a open check. Then mix it thoroughly, stir, and add litmus. All right, if you do that, from what I observe, you are going to observe you're going to see that sample C dissolves. C dissolves. You are going to write C dissolves to form a colorless solution. C dissolve to form a colorless solution. I want to carry you along with this. I would have written it as I do other times, but I just want you to see how it goes. C dissolve to form a colorless solutions, and of course we are asked to test with litmus. Even if they don't ask you to test with litmus, please test with litmus. All right, and if you do that, you will see that it turns blue litmus to what? Turn blue litmus to red. All right, so which turns blue litmus paper to red. of course, if you want anything that turns blue litmus paper to red, that's acidic. So you say sample C is soluble because it dissolves. Soluble and acidic. Acidic in the sense that it turns blue litmus paper red. So that will be your inference. Are we together? Okay, that's great. Okay, not to waste time, let's go to the second one. I said portion of solution C. Of course, in the exam they can give you first portion, second portion, third portion. I do want to label first, second, or third so that you know some of you like to cram. I don't want any of you to have problems in the exam. So just know whatever portion it is of that solution C. We are saying solution C now because we have mixed it with water. So it's either you say solution C or you say C aqueous. It's still the same thing. All right. Whatever you see, okay, however it comes. So that portion of solution C plus sodium hydroxide in drops and then in excess. In drops and in excess. So if you put it in drops, you are going to observe white precipitate. All right, white precipitate. White precipitate. We have been told to always write it in full. No, don't write PPT. White precipitate, and this white precipitate dissolves in excess what? Excess sodium hydroxide. Dissolves in excess sodium hydroxide. All right, and that gives to give a what? A colorless solution. Give a colorless solution. All right. White precipitate which dissolves in excess sodium hydroxide to give a colorless solution. There are a couple of ions that can be white precipitate. I'm not talking of gelatinous now. I'm not talking of chalky. Of course, if you look at this very well, it's chalky. All right. If it's chalky, you pick only one. But I just want to give a broad view so that we can have something that can give us an adequate reason to have our marks. Okay. So if it is white precipitate, you write. Then the ions present will be what? Possibly zinc ion, possibly lead ion. I'm putting all this because you don't know what it is. If I just put chalky and get you to lead ion, that means there's a suspicion of something. Okay, so that is zinc 2 plus, lead 2 plus, or iron 2 plus, likely present. But the right words to use, just put present. Okay, all right. And now mind you, are going to filter all this to get the correct one that is there. All right, so that brings us to the third one, which is portion of solution C plus aqueous ammonia in drops, then in excess. All right, so if you have that, you're still going to observe white precipitate too. So you come under your, when you perform that, come under your observation and you write white precipitate. All right, which white precipitate forms which is insoluble in excess, all right. Another student can just write white precipitate forms, comma, insoluble in excess. It's still the same thing. All right, and when you do this, the ones out of these three now, the ones that can be insoluble in excess will be what? Lead and aluminium. Zinc will not be soluble, so zinc is out of it. So under our inference, we put lead 2 plus or aluminium 3 plus present because of what? The nature of being insoluble. All right, zinc should be soluble. That one is off now, so we are out of 3, we are streamlined it to 2, and the next one will help you to get which of these 2 is present. Okay, all right. So in lieu of that, what do we have? This fourth one, which is portion of solution C plus hydrogen chloride. It could be dilute. But I don't know. They also put conch. I wouldn't know what they are. So I just put HCl. You know, I'm just predicting, and of course my predictions, if not 100% true, is more than 90%, and of course I do tell you 99% true. All right, so just say whatever you are given, you'll be given. If they decide to change their method of not writing it out like this, of course it will be in the statement, and there you're going to highlight your test. So if you do this portion of that C plus HCl and you heat, If you do that, it's going to give you white precipitate, white precipitate, white precipitate, all right, which dissolves. It will dissolve now, which dissolves on heating, but let's use on warming because it's gentle heating, on warming. And you now notice after it dissolves, when it's allowed to cool a little bit, it will reappear. So we say which reappears on cooling. So all these facts must be stated, which reappears on cooling. And with this observation, that confirms the presence of lead ion. So you say lead 2 plus confirmed. Lead 2 plus confirmed. I hope we are following, right? Very good, very good, very good. So the next one, which is the fifth one according to what I have here, is solution C plus conc H2SO4 and gentle warming. This is if we are going to test for what I said initially for the brown ring test, where we are going to test for NO2 or the presence of NO3 ion. All right. So should this come up, what you are going to observe, you are going to observe brown films produced. So you record that brown films produced on warming. Okay, brown films produced on warming, and that is what? Films of what? You record films of NO2, all right, which confirms NO3 ion present. So you said films of NO2, NO3 ions present. All right. Okay, we are making progress. So the next one is that should be done for sample C. Sample C from what I have here. So we can go to sample D. Sample D, you may be asked to burn it up. So we say sample D with non-luminous flame. All right. Now, if you take sample D and heat it gently on this flame, you are going to observe light color. That's color that looks purplish, light, very light purple. Is it lilac or lilac, whatever it is called? Lilac color. All right, lilac colored flame will be observed. All right. Okay, it's a lilac colored flame produced, and that confirms potassium ion. No other way. Other things looks very, that's a tindallic or something very that's going to be very technical. So we said potassium ion confirmed. All right. So now you can now be asked to mix that sample D with water and stir. It's possible you're asked to mix sample D with water and stir. So if you're asked to mix sample D with water and stir, what do you have here? Sample D with water, you discover that D will dissolve. So you say D dissolves to form a clear solution. D dissolves to form a clear solution. All right. And this solution, even if you are not told, try to test it with litmus paper. You discover that it turned red litmus paper to blue, and of course whatever turn red litmus paper to blue is what? Alkaline, or you can say basic, but I would like to use the word alkaline. So what would I have as my inference? I'll say D is what? Soluble, because it dissolves. D is soluble, comma, said the solution, or you say its solution, that is the solution of D is what? Its solution is what? As alkaline. All right, hope we are following. Okay, it's a long one, but I just want to give you all possible questions so that you'll be well abreast. So in this now we have portion of D plus acidified hand. This is another one, because this is an oxidizing agent. It could be asked to use KMNO4 or potassium dichromate, that's heptazo dichromate. Okay, so whichever one they ask you, I'm going to put it in two categories. Should they ask for KMNO4, what you are going to observe? Should you use potassium dichromate, what you are going to observe? So let's use KMNO4 first. So let's assume you are asked to use portion of that sample D which have been aqueous now, okay, solution now, with KMNO4, you discover that because KMNO4 color is purple, so that purple color will change, it will decolorize. So you write decolorized what? Acidified KMNO4. All right, decolorized acidified KMNO4. So if it is to be K2 SCR207, all right, so you are going to discover that because that K2CR07, the color is orange, so you now see, you discover that it will turn that orange color to green. So we say turns acidified K2CR207 from, I hope this English is correct, from orange to green. All right, that means turns the color from orange to what? To green. And what does that mean? It means that sample D is a what? A reducing agent. It's a reducing agent. Now the next thing they want us to do is, what is inside this sample D itself? What is inside this sample D? So that was the next thing they want us to see. All right, so that's the next one, which I say portion of D plus barium chloride plus dilute HCl. Portion of D plus barium chloride plus dilute HCl. If you do that, you are going to observe a white precipitate. All right, a white precipitate. So a white precipitate forms, which dissolves. It forms and dissolves in dilute HCl. Now, formation of this white precipitate connotes some ions, possible ions, because we are not saying gelatinous, we are not saying chalky or whatever. So because there's a observation of white precipitate, so it's possible we have SO4 2 minus, or SO3 minus, or even CO3 2 minus present. All right, now for the fact that it dissolves, we now say, come under it and say SO3 2 minus is present. So that's out of these three, this is the only one that will dissolve, which confirms the presence of SO3 2 minus. All right, now I am expecting from here there could be gas. A gas could be asked for us, will be asked to test a gas. All right, so I just want to give you all. So it's possible they give you a portion of D and ask you to add dilute HCl and heat gently, or they use the word warm. That is where a gas want to be tested, and of course you could ask, you could add litmus paper or not. So if you could heat this, observe the test that is coming up. Observe if you have a colorless gas with a pungent smell, a colorless gas with a pungent smell, if it evolved, all right, that means SO2 gas is evolved. That means SO2 gas was present. I'm sure whatever they will give in your exams cannot pass any of these 10 tests. I decided to make it 10, but in your exam they can't give you 10. How about what happened now? Yoruba people say kilo day, they cannot give you that. Okay, but just for you to be on a very good note, I've made all this possible for you to have a good idea of the exams. So please watch, like, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and if you have any question, put it at the comment section, so I will be able to attend to that. So this is what we have. I wish you best of luck, but see you in the next video, where I'm going to show you how all these things are obtained. You are going to see that in the next video, but take this, digest it, study it, and be abreast. See you. This is Don's Consult. We are here to make chemistry simple and for you to pass your exams very well. Thank you.